Hi, everyone. I'm going to mute all participants for now. There will be some time later for Q&A. You can always still add comments in the chat. I'm Laura Boyle, founder of Moonstone Communications and Chakra University. Let me start sharing my slide deck here and we'll get the presentation going. One moment, please. Okay. Looks like it says I'm screen sharing. Welcome. So today our workshop is on the 4 agreements and your chakras. So the 4 agreements and your chakras is really about an energetic and a spiritual guide to personal freedom. So the 4 agreements is based on the work of Don Miguel Ruiz, who is a spiritual teacher who created the 4 agreements based on Toltec wisdom to help people live their lives, a code of conduct for living our lives. And I've added incorporating the energy of your chakras to help us incorporate his work more deeply and more fully. As I mentioned, here's a copy. The photo here is a copy of the cover of his book, which you can get from Amazon. He was an author and spiritual teacher. His book, The 4 Agreements, aims to free us from our self-limiting beliefs and provides a code of conduct to help us live with happiness and love. So what are the 4 agreements, right? So we'll go through each one, but here's each of them in a quick summary. 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally, which is very difficult, right? We all struggle with that one, I'm sure. 3, don't make assumptions. And 4, always do your best. So 1, I'm sorry, let me go back up here. Be impeccable with your word. What that means is speaking with integrity and truth and avoiding gossip or negative talk. And I want to also reinforce here that being impeccable with your word means avoiding negative self-talk. So even the thoughts in our head, which are nonstop throughout the day, can we be sure to use words for love and truth? This is a lot more difficult than you would think. It's easy for us to remember to speak with kindness about others in our lives or others that we live with, people we work with, knowing that if we hear gossip, we can quickly shut it down. If we hear negative talk, we can either walk away, not participate. But it's not easy for us with our thoughts that go throughout the day to really pause and say, can we not use negative self-talk when we're thinking things about ourselves? So that's number 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. So what others say is actually a reflection of their own reality. We would not want to internalize external negativity, and it helps us by developing an emotional immunity. This one is very difficult, I would say, because we often feel that when people are sharing, quote, feedback or their thoughts, that it's the truth. And it actually is really only reflecting what the other person's reality is. So whether it's negative or even positive, we can give and receive love freely from others. But when it comes to any sort of external negativity, if we maintain our inner emotional immunity, if we maintain a strong rooted base within, We won't internalize that negativity, and we would say, okay, that's just so-and-so reflecting their own reality, whether we can say so-and-so's having a bad day, or even we know that they feel that way because they may feel that way about themselves, and they're just pushing it onto us. It's very common, and this is actually pretty difficult, but again, we can build tools and skills to try to do this every day and not take anything personally. Number 3 is don't make assumptions. Communicate clearly and ask questions. And that again means don't make assumptions about our own judgment of what's going on around us. It's quick and easy to jump to that assumption, but we're asked here to pause. We're asked here to take a moment and ask questions or express your needs honestly, avoid misunderstandings, avoid that drama. It means saying, you know what, maybe I'm not being clear. Let me try this a different way, or let me check in with you here because what I'm hearing is this. Is that correct? Or did you mean something else? There are times when it's quite clear what people are saying to us, and there's no need for us to make any sort of assumption. Again, we go back to rule 2, which is the second agreement we make with ourselves is even if we're clear on what someone is communicating with us and it's negative, it's still a reflection of their own reality. And the last one, the last agreement that we should make with ourselves is always do your best. Oh, let me go back. Always do your best. And we need to realize that our best changes from moment to moment, which means that if you're really tired, you've had a stressful day, your best may not be the same as if you're feeling much more refreshed and rested. And that's okay. We don't always have to be at 100% at all times. That's simply not realistic. So knowing that we're always doing our best with the tools and resources that we have available to us at that time leads to a greater sense of self-acceptance and peace. We're not always hitting ourselves over the head for not getting everything correct, not always being perfect. Doing our best does not mean always being perfect. It's simply not possible. It means we walked away from a day and said, I did my best today. It was a rough day, or I was, I didn't have a good lunch. I didn't have a good night's rest. I had XYZ on my mind, but I was as present as I could have been. I was mindful as I could have been. I tried not to take anything personally. I spoke with truth and love today, and I did my best. And knowing that we say that to ourselves each day is a greater way to support our self-acceptance and peace. So how do you integrate the agreements into your day-to-day life? So the book offers lots of tips and additional support, and we can do things like practice daily mindfulness. We can do daily journaling, affirmations, meditation, try our best to eat right and exercise, support each other, and ultimately live with compassion, clarity, and love. That's all intellectual and it's physical. And so what I'm proposing here is to incorporate our 7 chakras into these 4 agreements. And why is that? because the 7 chakras, which are our body's energy centers, hold a lot of emotion and self-belief, or they can impact our emotions and self-belief. And so if we were to integrate and incorporate our 7 chakras with our physical and mental work of living the 4 agreements, it's a better, more holistic approach for a greater level of success. So what are the chakras, right? They are energy centers in the body. They are located along the spine from the base to the crown. Each chakra influences physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Here is a good visualization of each of our chakras. As you see at the base of our spine is the root chakra, which is responsible for our sense of belonging, our sense of purpose, related to family issues, our relationship to money, our relationship to others. The root chakra means that we feel grounded and rooted and secure in who we are and where we're going. The second chakra, you see the orange color, is the sacral chakra. This is related to our sense of creativity and emotion. So if sometimes we say you have butterflies in your stomach, or you feel anxiety down in your gut, or you say, I'm going to follow my gut feeling. The sacral chakra is very much involved with that. And it's also, of course, related because of its location to our sexuality, but again, also to creativity. The third chakra you see is the yellow color, the solar plexus. This is known as our power center. This is where our will lives. This is where we get that feeling of confidence, reacting and working with others in the world, relating with others with confidence in ourselves, in our abilities. If we really don't have a great deal of confidence in ourselves or our ability, we could have a blocked or weakened sacral chakra, or the energy may not be as flowing as much. If we move up again to the green chakra, you'll see that is the heart chakra in the center of the chest. This is where we give and receive love freely. And the heart chakra is related to forgiveness. And this, of course, is not just about others. It is about the forgiveness and love we give and show ourselves. The next chakra in the blue color is the throat chakra, and it is about speaking our truth and speaking with love. We can see easily how this could be related to the first agreement of being impeccable with our word. The throat chakra is not just about speaking with our voice. It is also about writing or any other form of communication that we express ourselves fully, truthfully, and with love. The next chakra, that darker blue purpley color, is our third eye, which sits right between our eyebrows. This chakra is related to our intuition, our inner guidance, and our inner wisdom. There are a lot of times when we really should have that third eye and that sacral chakra connected, so that that gut feeling and our intuition are flowing and connected and working together. That top chakra on the crown of your head is, of course, the crown chakra, which relates to our connection to divine guidance, the universe, universal love, whatever you would consider divinity to be for you. Again, this is where we would get guidance from outside. And it's really important if we want to stay very rooted, and if we want to stay very grounded to have our crown and root chakra connected and flowing. As you can see, it's very important to have energy freely flowing up each of these chakras and down each of these chakras. You wouldn't want anything closed or blocked. And while these energy centers are constantly spinning like a vortex, which is what the word chakra means, that means you want that energy freely flowing. It helps us maintain balance and well-being. Now, energy is always flowing and changing within us. So there are times when the energy is not freely flowing. And that's where self-awareness, meditation, exercise, healthy diet, and living the 4 agreements, working together with all of these energy centers, become so important. So what happens if we incorporate our chakras with the 4 agreements? It means that not only are we physically and mentally working on each of these 4 agreements in our day-to-day life, but if we can connect and incorporate our internal energy centers, then we're really living the 4 agreements energetically as well. It adds another layer of a holistic approach to really doing our very best, like in agreement 4, on a daily basis, and live these 4 agreements for a greater sense of inner peace, happiness, self-acceptance, and stronger relationships. So again, as you can see here, be impeccable with your word really connects to that throat and heart chakra. Obviously with the throat chakra because of the sense of communication and speaking our truth. So then with the heart chakra, again, we want to make sure that we're giving and receiving love freely, but that also means speaking about ourselves internally with positivity and love. Don't take anything personally. Agreement number 2 really connects well with our solar plexus and our sacral chakra. Why is that? Because if our solar plexus, which is again, that power center, if we feel confident in ourselves and in our abilities, we develop that emotional immunity, that sense within the sacral chakra that we are secure in our emotions, secure in ourselves, and secure in our talents, abilities, that we would not take anything personally whenever we receive anything that might be considered negative. So again, in order to not take things personally, it's good to have a strong and open and flowing solar plexus and sacral chakra. Don't make assumptions. For this agreement, the 3rd eye and the crown chakra are very important. Why is that? The 3rd eye chakra allows us to rely on our inner wisdom and intuition. And that crown chakra lets us connect with a higher power. So if we want to be clear with our communication, and we also want to make sure that we're not making assumptions about what we're seeing, hearing, or experiencing in relation to others, either in a relationship or workplace or other setting, we could pause, tap into our inner wisdom, tap into the connection of the outward wisdom and guidance to say, let me pause here, reflect, and then when I'm feeling grounded and more relaxed, I can ask a question for clarity rather than jumping to a conclusion. The last one is always do your best, which I have connected to the root chakra. And why is that? Again, we cannot always be perfect, but if we are solid in our root chakra, if we have done the work within to say, yes, childhood, family, relationship to things like others and money and abundance, everything that's related in the root chakra, our sense of self, if that is strong and not blocked or closed, we are capable of that deep self-acceptance and peace to say, I did my best with what was available for me at the moment. And that also means self-forgiveness. Because if you look back to say, oh boy, I really blew that. Oh my goodness, I really messed up that day. But if you were to understand and say, hey, even if, let's say it was your childhood, I did the best I could in the situation I was in as a child, as a spouse, as a coworker. I did the best I could. I always do the best I can with what I'm given. And it leads to a greater sense of peace and acceptance and self-forgiveness. And that is the best way to live the four agreements with a holistic approach of peace and wellness. So again, doing the work of living the agreements, you could do meditation and journaling, but I'm suggesting an additional layer here of chakra activation and engagement, seeking guidance from within, leveraging your intuition, being rooted and centered, and making sure that you, as the best you can, to have some free-flowing energy for clarity and self-awareness. We do have an online course available at moonstonecommunications.com of the four agreements and your chakras, which provides information and guided meditations for each of the four agreements. You can also take a deeper dive into self-discovery with our personal care series that goes through topics such as working your triggers, building a better relationship with money and abundance, and other areas around our personal care and our chakras that would impact your day-to-day life. The personal care series lets you reconnect, heal, and transform. It allows you to let go of those self-judgment and old patterns, those limiting self-beliefs, and build a strong foundation for inner peace. So the series provides tools to ground and center yourself. It has tools and resources, meditations, and other content to help you with your self-discovery and journey. As I mentioned earlier, the courses involved in the personal care series are working our triggers, maintaining healthy boundaries, and building a healthy relationship with money. As part of the personal care series, we are also adding this course so that you could access the entire personal care series and the four agreements and your chakras course. We're providing that all together in one package for a lower price, which I can send out through email after our workshop today for more information. Or if you go to our website and to learn more about the four agreements and our chakras course, you can also get information about these other offers. In addition to the entire personal care series, I'm offering a one-on-one coaching session. So it can deepen your integration of the course material within the personal care series and work through your unique blocks and reach your personal goals. So right now I'd like to do a throat and heart chakra activation exercise. It'll be a meditation, but before we go into that, I'm going to share with you here the final screen, and I'm going to unmute participants and let me know if you have any questions. Let me push this here. There. Okay. Kelly, did you have any questions?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, and how about Kim? Any questions on your end? Let me try to unmute you.
No, not at all.
Okay, great. As you can see here, I have my contact information, boyle75@gmail.com. I'll send a follow-up email with links and additional information. Let me go back here to the there we go, throat and chakra activation exercise. I'm going to start the meditation. One moment. So allow yourself to get comfortable while I set this up. Welcome to the guided meditation of the heart and throat chakra activation. As part of the 4 Agreements and Your Chakras course, a product of Moonstone Communications. Start by getting comfortable. Sit or lie down in a comfortable place. Close your eyes. Begin by taking 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And let your body soften. Release the shoulders. Release your hips. Soften the throat. Soften your face. And breathe. Bring your attention to the center of your chest, your heart chakra. With each inhale, visualize a soft green light glowing throughout your chest, expanding with every inhale. And repeat silently or aloud. I speak lovingly to myself and others. I am open to giving and receiving love. Let this energy grow, filling your chest, your arms, your entire being. Now move your attention to your throat, your throat chakra. Visualize a calming light blue light spinning gently. Then say to yourself or out loud, I speak only truth with love about myself and others. I use my words for positive and loving reality. Now imagine both lights, green and blue, expanding outward, surrounding you in a soft aura of love and truth. Stay in this energy for a few minutes and breathe slowly. Repeat this exercise anytime you want to help integrate. Agreement 1, be impeccable with your word, into your energy and daily life. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks everyone for participating on our call today. Again, we can share information about accessing the 4 agreements and our chakras course, which includes tools, resources, content, and meditations for each of the agreements and corresponding chakras. Again, there is my email. Please reach out with any questions or any issues that you may run into. This will be recorded and the recording will also be available online. Thanks again and have a great night.